Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be joined today by my friend Rueben George here at Massey Books. Rueben, you've just launched your new book, It Stops Here. Let's talk about that book and what is it all about?
Well, when they asked me to write a book, it was actually my son. He said, "It's easy, Dad." I go, "Why?" And he goes, "It's Star Wars." And I went, "What?" He said, "The evil empire, Canada, against the Georges and Tsleil-Waututh." And that's what it's about. It's about colonization. But it's about using the tools that our ancestors used for thousands of years to pull us out of any hurt or pain or trauma. And that's what we did, and that's what the book's about. It's not just me, but it could be the same story for all Indigenous people across Canada. We all experienced the effects of colonization and residential school. But when we got into the healing part of it, it was ceremonial. And when we find the freedom in ceremony, we want to do things better. That's protect our lands, waters, and people. And that's what we do, because responsibility about coming out of ceremonies, you feel good, is to share that goodness and protect what you love. That's what the book's about.
So for the last 13 years, I know that you've dedicated your life, as well as your son and daughter, and even your mother. I was actually up on Burnaby Mountain when she got arrested that day, and to see her in handcuffs, it actually broke my heart to see that, and to see her hauled away by the RCMP. This book here symbolizes your fight against big oil. Your community is literally across the bay from where Westridge Dock is, where the Trans Mountain Pipeline will end. Tell me about your fight against the Trans Mountain Pipeline, and why are you fighting so hard against big oil?
Well, I think it's in us. Like my kids say, we will not be the generation that stops fighting. That's brilliant for them to say that. But my great-great-grandfather, Slave, he stood up and protected the land. My grandfather, and actually the title of the book, It Stops Here. I got it from a story that he did, that he said, no more, no, it stops here. We're going to stand up for our rights. So it's generational that we've been doing it, but it's been 13 years that we've been standing up to this pipeline, postponed it till this point, and it's a big mess, as you know, economically, environmentally. It has the potential to be a disaster. It's 87%, not if, but when a spill happens. So we have to protect what we love.
And when it comes to bitumen, what we know that is it's almost like a tar ball that sinks to the bottom of the ocean. I do know that if they skim the surface and collect maybe 10%, they call that a good cleanup. So what happens to the rest? What will happen to your community if there is a spill in that bay?
Well, not just our community, but if you look at Vancouver, within hours, 1 million people will be sick. Within days, 500,000 birds will be gone, permanent. Look at Exxon Valdez. Decades later, it's still a mess. And the potential for a spill is something we can't take, and we can't take the risk. So that's why we're doing what we're doing.
Rueben, I've seen you travel all over the globe with this fight against climate change. We're seeing the effects now in all of our communities. We've just been ravaged by fire season this year, as well as floods, droughts, you name it. Where do you plan on taking your fight next?
Well, you know, what I hope people get out of the book is our world's in trauma. I think we're missing genuine spirit, because if we had spirit, we wouldn't make these decisions. If it's not in our backyard, we won't do anything about it, but it is. It is, like you said, fires, floods, temperature, everything's changing. And we have the power and capacity to do something and create a better way. And so that's our message. That's what we're going to put out. That's what we hope to get out of the book and other projects that we're working on is don't just stand by and watch. You could do something about it. Don't settle.
Rueben George, thank you so much for joining us. To get your latest copy, go to masseybooks.com.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Back to you in studio.
Thanks.